And at the time, I wanted to take advantage of an FHA loan or a conventional loan, whichever one I can get approved for. And we can talk about the little bit of differences between both in a second. But I remember I was like, okay, cool. All right, well, you know what? I just gave up. I was just like, all right, well, I'll just wait 2 years and then I'll go ahead and get my qualification. So 2 years went by and I was finally able to obtain a bank loan. And this is with an FHA loan. And I bought my first property, which I'll touch on a little bit more a little bit later. And I bought my first deal, which is a little duplex. It's a 3.5% down FHA loan. And, you know, I was a really happy camper. It was a little bit distressed, but I'll get into that in a second. So what I did over the years was I built that real estate business to where I was working with buyers at the time. Again, licensee in 2015. And I started building up this business to where I was working lots of buyers, influx of buyers. I created a little team, started getting people to work the buyers for me, right? Started leveraging and delegating, because back in my mind, I had a business mindset. I was an entrepreneur, and that's okay. Not everybody needs to be an entrepreneur to do what we're about to teach. And that's house hacking. And so I built that business up. Today we're in 2025. And to give you a little bit of the scoop about me is now today I still have a listing sales business to where all we do is listings, right? So that's one of my businesses that I have. I have an MLS listing service. I also have a property management company. And then on top of that, my main thing is I'm a buy and hold investor, and I started buying properties one at a time. And my goal, guys, was to buy one property per year. That was actually my goal. I was like, you know what? That's all I want to do. I just want to be able to buy one property per year. And this is back in 2015, 16, and 17. And fast forward today, which we're in 2025, I've now moved on to investing into big commercial properties. So now where I'm at today is I buy RV parks, resorts, stuff like that. So as you guys can imagine, I'm here. I want to be able to deep dive and give you guys the value that I have had throughout this whole entire journey. And one of the things you guys heard me touch on just a second ago is banks. I'm going to teach you by the end of this presentation on how you do not need to use banks. Okay. I had that broken mindset. I was like, man, I have to go to a bank to actually obtain a bank loan. And yeah, I understand that's one of the things that we're taught. We're taught, like, when you want to buy a car, you go to a dealership. You want to buy a home, you go to a realtor, right? These are things that we're just conditioned to know. But I have tools in my tool belt that I'm going to love to share with you guys here in a second, about how you can actually get into real estate, buy your first deal or maybe your second deal. By the way, who in this chat has a piece of real estate already? Anybody? Drop a 1 in the chat. Okay, we got Lonnie. I think he raised his hand. Oh, cool. So we got Kayla. She's got a 1. Alec. All right, Alec, Lonnie, perfect. So you guys already own one piece of real estate. So some of the terminology that I'm going to be speaking, you guys are going to be actually familiar with. It's not going to be too foreign. For those of you who haven't heard some of the terminology I haven't said, at any time, once we're done, we're going to open up again to a Q&A, and then you guys are going to be able to ask me whatever questions you have. So don't forget to write down whatever questions you have, because I'm going to review a lot of things. I'm going to try to jam pack as much as I can. I'm not going to try to speed through it, but I'm going to jam pack as much as I can in 1 hour so you guys can get as much value out from me, because I was in your position and I want you guys to be able to scale into real estate. And let's be careful how we use the word scale. Scale can mean 1 deal a year, 2 deals a year, 10 deals a year. Hell, you might want to be like me and start buying multifamily and RV parks. Who knows? But the key thing here is for you guys to understand, as you work your 9 to 5, how it's obtainable. You know what? Some of my partners that I partnered with are actually 9 to 5ers, and they work 9 to 5 every single day, and they're partners in some of my biggest real estate deals. Actually, matter of fact, David's one of them. He has a partnership in a deal with me. So let's talk about really quick, to keep it really simple, what is a house hack? Okay. For those of you guys know what a house hack is, drop a 1 in the chat. Drop a 1 in the chat if you know what a house hack is. Okay, so only one person in this room knows what a house hack is. No problem. Okay. So a house hack, guys, is when you take a property, you either get a bank loan or you buy it creatively, right? Creatively meaning seller finance or subject to, and I'll get into more of that in a second. And you're actually the one holding the note or the mortgage and the deed on the property. So you have 2 instruments on a piece of property. You have the deed, which is actually the receipt to the property. And then you have the mortgage and the note. Okay. The mortgage and the note is when you go to a bank like Bank of America or Chase, and you say, hey, I need a bank loan to obtain this real estate investment, whether it's a primary residence or an investment property. Now there's two big differences there. But anyways, a house hack is when you go to the bank, let's say Bank of America, Chase, Wells Fargo, whatever institution that you want to obtain a bank loan, or maybe you go direct to a seller and structure a seller finance deal. And we'll get to more on that in a second. And you're the one holding the liability on that property is what we like to call it. Meaning you have an IOU to either a bank or the seller that you structured a seller finance deal, which they become the bank. And over the course of time, that note means I owe you money, right?